After Effects performance basics, quick tips, and general info. The first thing to understand about After Effects and performance with the version we have today, which is version 18 and anything before that, it really prefers a high clock speed rather than dozens of CPU cores. This is changing, as many of you might have already seen, in the current beta 18.1, which finally gives us multi-frame support where we can take advantage of all those cores. Also good to point out that we do test and support both Intel and AMD Ryzen CPUs, but the most important thing to understand about After Effects when it comes to configuration is RAM. You want as much as possible. More RAM is better than faster RAM. When it comes to the GPU, you want as much video RAM as possible, especially when you have higher frame sizes like 4K workflows. You can use either NVIDIA or AMD. Workstation or gaming cards are fine. They have solid performance, again, so long as they have lots of VRAM. You also want to keep an eye on your drivers. Again, if there's an issue, typically the system compatibility report will pop up and try to keep you in check the same way it does with Premiere Pro. The number one rule with drives and drive space is speed really does matter in AE, just like it does in Premiere Pro. We're constantly accessing those cached files. You will get better performance if you use fast SSDs or NVMe drives, and you separate OS and apps on one drive, your footage and cache on another drive. These are really important, and you should do that whenever possible to get maximum performance. As I mentioned with Premiere Pro, NVMe drives are preferred, and they're really great for cache when it comes to AE. I think we can all agree drive space is getting cheaper all the time. As of today, SSD 1 terabyte SATA drives is running about $95, and a 1 terabyte NVMe is all the way down to $150, about half the price that they were last year. A couple other performance tips that are pretty important. When you're seeing issues with After Effects and performance, what other applications are running while you're running your workflow? A lot of them take system resources. Both Microsoft Office and Chrome can definitely take resources from After Effects, and something to keep an eye on. We can all agree that plugins are awesome. Boris, Video Copilot, Red Giant, wonderful partners. Almost hard to figure out how we'd get a lot of the workflow done without them. But you really got to make sure that when you upgrade After Effects, are those plugins up to date and are they truly compatible? It is a very common practice for people not to upgrade their plugins because, let's face it, it's just another cost, but it is usually one of the top performance problems and even crashers inside of After Effects that we see as people move plugins around. And sometimes that architecture changes. And as I mentioned, when we go multi-threading, a lot of that architecture is going to change. A couple things with After Effects, and some of this, especially in the RAM rule, as I mentioned before, it's exactly the same as Premiere Pro. You want to use the 70-30 plan, 70% for Adobe apps and 30% for other apps when you're 32 gigs or less. And then anything more than 32 gigs, use the 80-20 rule. Just like Premiere Pro, we've got a media and disk cache settings. You can go ahead and empty that. It's not quite as finicky as Premiere Pro, and it is always a good practice to empty the disk cache whenever possible. Chapter 6, the last chapter, is just a couple of things I wanted to point out on additional resources and good reliable places to go for more information. These are a couple of engineering's favorite websites. The School of Motion has a great article on building the ultimate After Effects computer, so that's sort of a cool one to look at. There are benchmark tools that you can download for Premiere Pro and After Effects. Puget Systems has a great set of tools. Lots of people use them, including other system builders. We also have a great partner finder that you can go to look at all of the different panels, shared storage, plugin providers, and the entire ecosystem of our video family of products. This is the central place to go find what's there, and these are actually updated by the manufacturers themselves. When it comes to YouTube channels, we have a great new Adobe video and motion channel on YouTube. Video Revealed is done by a former member of our team. He's now retired and makes videos on his channel, Video Revealed. And of course, my channel, which has been out for a number of years, is always a good place to go to get quick tips and quick information.